All right, here we are at our 1995 Gibson Sport Series. This is a 37-foot in length boat. We've got a 14-foot beam. Beam is going to be the width of the boat. We've got about a 25-foot long cabin by about 11 feet wide. Headroom is going to be about 6 feet 5 inches. The bridge clearance on this one is going to come in at about 9 feet 7 inches. Of course, now that is going to be with that bimini top lowered, and as well as those VHF antennas and your anchor light up there. But Gibson does list this as about a 9.7 foot bridge clearance. This is powered by twin Crusader 5.0 liter 305 cubic inch V8, basically small block V8 inboard V-drive engines. So with this being a sport model, this is Gibson's fastest hull that they built. This is kind of a hybrid between a houseboat and a cruiser. Oh, we got two turtles coming up here to say hello. That one's both being a little bit shy. This slip is transferable. If you are interested in leaving it here, you will absolutely have the opportunity to do so. Again, we are coming to you today from Cherokee Lake in East Tennessee, just east of Knoxville, Tennessee. This boat appears to have always been in freshwater its whole life. It came to Cherokee Lake in September of 2024. And bottom paint was done prior to it being delivered here to Cherokee Lake in September 2024. So 2024 also is going to be that last bottom paint date. And I should go ahead and spend just a moment here on this front porch. You see this framing that we have here. They've got essentially a canvas that's going to go on top of that frame there. That has been removed. That was removed for the winter. The seller is selling this one due to some health reasons. So now we did all the pieces to put the canvas back on that are all on board. We've got actually some of the framing down here on the port side catwalk, and then the canvas itself is inside the boat. So I kind of like this canvas. You know, one of the drawbacks to the Gibsons is they don't have a covered front porch. And so with that canvas there, you're going to get a little bit of coverage from that canvas. You're also going to get a little bit more shade on these bow windows here. Now, before we climb on board, I do want to kind of take a moment here and point out we've got a Maxwell windlass anchor. We've got a pair of 30 amp shore power cable hookups, and then over there in that port side corner right about there where I'm pointing, that's going to be your dockside water hookup and dockside television and phone hookup. Now it's at least in our area, that's not very commonly used, but that's what those are for. So we've got a removable cushioned seat up here on the front porch. We got some bow storage in this hatch right here. And I should go ahead and point out, see this cable right here? That's your shore power cable. That one with the little split in there, that cable should be replaced. Anytime you see some wear and tear on your shore power cables, you want to take those seriously and replace those as needed. So we do have a little removable table up here on the bow area as well. This is definitely an upgraded table, probably an aftermarket. Nice little surface on there that's going to hold up in the exterior. And then we've also got a remote spotlight up here on the bow as well. So we've got about, let's see here, about 20-inch wide walkways here on either side. Now, again, this Sport Series, because this is meant to be a planing hull. You know, you've got the V-drive power back here. This boat is meant to kind of get up on planes. So with their Sport Series, they build these on a little bit lower profile. Notice right here, we're getting ready to step down to go into the cabin. So in the Sport Series, your cabin is a little bit lower, and we've got a way to basically enter the boat directly right here at the door. If you want to avoid going down that walkway, you're going to have the ability to do that as well. And then I'm going to step on down into our cabin here. I'm going to pull this door behind us. We've also got a little screen door that has been added. And get you a good view here of our interior. And I'm going to turn on around. We're going to start right here on the interior here at our lower helm station. So we do have a second flybridge upstairs. So we got two helms on this one. This is going to be the lower helm. We've got full controls over here. You're going to have, this could be your port and starboard side shifters. And then this is going to be your throttles over here. The Maxwell windlass anchor control right here. Remote controls for that spotlight that we pointed out to you a moment ago. We do have a functional VHF radio. Showers and thunderstorms. That's that NOAA weather band voice coming on right there. I'm going to turn that key on. Oh, it's this one right here. It's going to power up this little depth finder display for us. I'll let you know we're sitting in about 52 feet of water right here where we're currently at right now. And we've just got the single engine hour meter on both on the pair of engines right here. So we've got 454.4 engine hours, again, on those Crusader V8 305 inboard V-drive engines. Your other gauge is going to include your battery voltmeter, engine temperature gauge, engine oil pressure gauge, and your tachometer. Over here on your port side, you're going to have the same thing as your tachometer, oil pressure, engine temp, battery volt gauge, and we're going to have a toggle switch for your fuel. And if I turn power on here at the dash here, that's going to be your port side fuel tank, and right here is going to be your starboard side fuel tank. So we're showing both of those are going to be full at capacity, and we have a pair of 80-gallon aluminum fuel tanks. And while we're on the subject of tank capacities, also should go ahead and point out we've got a 100-gallon aluminum freshwater tank and a 50-gallon plastic waste holding tank. Both those tanks are going to be underneath this hatch right here. I'll go ahead and show you that. So this is what kind of the interior hull space looks like on a Gibson, especially the sport model, because like I said, we kind of step down below the deck whenever we enter the cabin on this one. That's going to give you a lower profile there. So that's kind of looking back at your waste tank right there. It's going to be your pump. It's going to be a lake water pump for flushing your toilet or your head. And that's going to be that aluminum freshwater tank just forward of that. So again, that aluminum tank is 100 gallons, and that waste holding tank is 50. Put that in the wrong way. There we go. Now then. So we're turning back to our helm area here right quick. I do want to point out we've got a remote start for your Onan generator. This is actually a newer Onan generator that's been added. This is going to be a 2019 air-cooled Onan generator. It's going to be 5.5 kW generator, and we are showing 79.1 engine hours or runtime on that generator. Now, this could be a transfer switch for both your shore power feeds. Again, that's going to be 30 amp shore power feeds. You got two of those. It's going to be your master switch for that Maxwell windlass anchor, and then it's going to be your AC power panels right over here. You're going to have your air conditioning, your lights, your outlets. We've pretty much got everything turned on except for the stove and our water heater, because we're not running water on board today. We're just here getting pictures and videos of it, kind of sussing the condition so we can share it with prospective buyers. All right. Now you probably noticed this little hatch right here next to our helm. Before I go any farther, I'm going to pause one more time. This is going to be a Kenwood AM, FM, CD, USB, auxiliary input, Pandora ready stereo, 12-volt power outlet just right there below it. And we're going to have two speakers down here in the cabin. One of those is going to be there. Your other one's going to be right here. We're going to have 4 speakers up on our flybridge upstairs. 3 of those speakers are functional. All right, now, this is going to be our forward berth down here. We've got, that's going to be a 110 light right there. Notice that hatch just above there. That's just to help get some air circulated down into this area right here. And actually, that canvas that I was talking about that goes on top of that frame that covers our bow or our front porch, if you will, that is what you're looking at right there about the center of the frame there. All right. Now I'll turn it on around. Again, here's this kind of forward berth area. It's going to be about, I believe that little pad right there was about 6 feet in length, and I think it was about a full size or double size. We will have those bed dimensions posted over there at the website. Now we do have a small. I believe this was about a 19-inch flat screen LCD television with a integrated DVD player. We have a little storage shelf just behind that television right there, and we've got another little cabinet built in just overhead, and just kind of kneeling on these cushions. So let's want to pop this up. We do have a little hanging closet right in here. We got some shelves in there. And this is actually going to be the mooring cover for the dual helm flybridge upstairs. You notice also we've got some bits of newer plumbing that have been installed. So a little bit of a mix. We've got some PEX plumbing that has definitely been added by a previous owner at one point. And then there's a few areas where we've still kind of noticed some of the original plumbing as well. Give you a pan down here in this forward cuddy room. Now, these little cabinets right here behind us, these are not storage cabinets. These are actually access panels for your 12-volt power, basically below the helm here, and then some of your under 20-volt or your shore power is going to be in that far panel over there in that corner. All right. Stepping on back here, we've got a nice little integrated dinette, and this is convertible into a small little berth. Okay, measurements on this one's going to be about the size of a twin bed. It's just a little bit narrower. I think it measured in about 37 feet in width, but about 8 feet long. So your typical your twin bed's going to be just over I think 6 feet. I think it's about 6 feet. 3 maybe. So, but yeah, so this is we might you might call this a California twin. I don't know if that exists, but if I was describing it to someone, that's probably what I would do. Just a little bit narrower than your standard twin, but much longer. So. But yeah, so to make this bed, we're going to have some photos of this made into a bed over the website. This little table right here is going to lift right out of that little pedestal. And then these two center cushions right here are basically going to slide over and fill this berth in. These two back corner cushions, you see how those are kind of integrated in? Those are easily going to pull right out of there. So then that's going to give you that full area right there as an additional sleeping berth. Okay. Few storage shelves integrated in right here behind our dinette area. I like that little Gibson logo right there, or emblem right there. And we've got some nice window treatments throughout as well. Now over here at our small little galley, we've got a perfect size little bar area with 2 bar stools. Do appreciate some of these wood floor accents that we've got. Right here, our galley area. We've got that a little bit down here in this berth right here. If I were to flip this cushion up, it's actually got a little filler cushion down there. It's kind of filling that spot in, but you see a little bit more of that flooring right down below there. And then I should also mention this area right here in our flooring. This is going to lift up when we got some storage space in there. That's basically empty storage, as well as access down into your lower bilge area. You're going to have another access to your bilge where you've got one of your cabin bilge pumps. It's going to be kind of right underneath that berth right there. And all right, moving on to our galley. Now a previous owner has taken the time to update the countertops in this one. This was not original to this boat in '95, but those were replaced. The bathroom countertops also replaced. Now we've got a small little stainless sink, Galley made impress It's going to be a 3-burner electric range top and oven. And this does not look like it's been used a whole lot. If so, they've done a great job taking care of it and keeping it clean. Now, notice a little bar right here. So this is going to be what you're going to see on a marine range top or a cooktop. You got to have something that's going to kind of secure whatever you've got on your range top from sliding off of there as the boat moves down the lake. Got some wine glass holders just overhead of your oven. A little bit of storage in those cabinets. And then if I step back here just a little bit more, get you a look at our Frigidaire. I believe that is about a 14.8 cubic foot refrigerator freezer and a little built-in Magic Chef microwave just overhead of that. So that's a fully electric refrigerator freezer. And directly across from our small galley area, we're going to have a small little pantry closet right here. Small little pantry right there, your little wastebasket down there as well. Everything you see in this one will be staying with this one. Everything, they've removed all the personal effects they're wanting to keep. This is going to be your controls for that roof air conditioning unit that you might hear humming kind of just overhead. Again, we're going to have the capacities of this at the website. I believe this is about a 12,000 BTU cooling capacity, and it also has a heat pump, which is roughly about the same BTU heating capacity. Now, in addition to that, they've also got a pair of radiator heaters that are going to be staying with this one, so that will transfer as well. So again, as we enter our small little head compartment here, or our bath, if you will, it's going to be a full bath or a head. Again, depending on what terminology you want to use, but again, we're going to see a little bit more of that wood floors continuing on into here. That's going to be a macerator head, again, with the 50-gallon waste holding tank. On the other side of that, we got a small vanity sink. Again, updated newer countertops right here, a little medicine cabinet overhead. We've got 110 and 12-volt lighting throughout. There's going to be a vent right there for your air conditioning system. And then we've got a small little dehumidifier that's also going to be staying with this boat as well, and that's just running here, draining into our little shower floor right there. So we do have the shower overhead. Curtain's going to basically swing around. Curtain kind of makes a full U into there and swings around in there. This is actually a pretty roomy little shower compartment for the boat. All right. Coming back out to the main level right here. Well, main room right over here. Do want to point out we do have a divider curtain before you enter this back area of the boat. Now, there's no furniture back here, but so this little divider curtain will slide all the way out. And it's getting a little bit hung up on that rug down there. Worked a lot easier for us earlier. I'm doing something wrong. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go all the way over. Maybe it's just meant to be closed from inside this room right here. And here's your little catch for it right there. It's going to kind of snap into, and that's going to give you some privacy right there. So this is going to be a 24-inch LG LCD television. And we do have a DVD player with that. Not sure where that's flashing. I think that's on some kind of a slideshow mode. So, and then of course here's that is going to be the entry into that head that we just showed you. And then sliding this back. Yeah, I was definitely doing something wrong a moment ago because that went in there much easier. So now this would be where you could have another bed. Okay. You've got room actually for a king size bed back here, if you wanted it. Okay. I believe new. They would put a lot of like sofas back here, little convertible sofas. But yeah, so you've got plenty of room back here. These little steps right here, they're going to exit out to the exterior on the rear deck. These are completely removable. So again, if you do want to have a larger bed back here, you can remove those. You can access that from basically from around to your catwalks. Storage closet back here, we got some integrated drawers right here. And then they've also got some additional drawers, just basically a cedar lined closet back here. It's another hanging closet back here, just being used for storage back here. Those two radiator heaters that I mentioned a moment ago, 1500-watt radiator heaters, those are in here as well. DVD player for that LG flat screen TV is in that area as well. Now, before we do leave the cabin, this corner may be catching your eye. We have had some moisture intrusion back here in this corner. Move this curtain just slightly right here. So something has kind of gotten wet, come down one or both of these walls, and we've done some damage right back here in this corner of the carpeting. So now typically you're going to have some just some plywood floors just below this carpeting right here, but this does need to be cleaned up, and make sure that there's no mold or mildew in those areas. Get that all good and cleaned up. Now we think they located the source of that moisture intrusion on the exterior, and that is definitely something you want to monitor and keep an eye on. These Gibsons can be known for having some areas of moisture intrusion. To tell you the truth, if you've got the ability to put one of these under covered slip, especially one of this size, because we're talking about a 14 by 37 foot size boat, if you can get under a 36, if your marina will let you hang out a little bit from a 36-foot covered slip. 36 is a relatively common covered slip size. I know in Norris Lake there's a handful of some 40-foot slips. I think they're 16 by 40s. So if you're lucky enough or have the ability to keep this under a covered slip, I will tell you your life's going to be a little bit easier. Now, I will use this rear door right here. We'll step on out to our rear deck. And we're seeing a little bit of moisture right over here near that area that we were just talking about on the interior here. Now, you've got a hole the deck joint down here that needs to be sealed with some good quality caulking, just like your windows do on any other boat. And again, we've got, so this has been sealed down here. And we, like I said, the sellers do believe that has stopped that moisture from going in. So now you're seeing a little bit of that condensation kind of pull up right there. So with that air conditioning running, it is going to kind of drip some condensation off. Whenever we do go upstairs, we'll probably be able to see kind of the trail of where that water's headed. Now coming on around this corner here, we've got a little bit more that hull of the deck joint that could probably use a little bit better job of a seal right in there. Just to make sure none of that moisture is working its way into the boat. This edge right here looks to be good, but we've got a small little gap right in here as it transitions past this little piece right here. That very well could have been the source of that moisture coming in, and I would touch that up a little bit better. Now, around our windows here, we're looking really good on the bottom half of this window. Actually, it's going to stop right here at the bottom. It's looking good on this corner right here. We've got an area up here near the top side, which sides are right in here, okay? That right there needs to be touched up, okay? This very well also could have been a source of that moisture intrusion that's making its way into the interior, and that caulking needs to go all the way around that bottom edge as well, because when it does rain, it does not take much. Some water can kind of get in that little track, and if it doesn't make its way in at the top edge, it can follow that edge all the way around and work its way any point in around those windows. So this right here looks good, but we should be seeing that all the way around all of these windows. Same thing up here on this top edge. We got a little trim strip that goes in right here. That also, I see some kind of old caulking in that edge right there. That needs to be touched up as well. And we got another spot right over here where we got some trim right here. All of this is the name of the game on these Gibsons, especially when you're not under covered slip, is any seam you have on the exterior, that needs to be caulked, sealed, and monitored. Keep an eye on those. Don't just do that once and forget about it. That caulking on the exterior, if you're not under covered slip, it's probably only going to last about 3 seasons. You also want to be waxing the exterior of these boats. Again, if you're not under covered slip, you need to be doing that twice a year on these boats. All right, so we raise our engine hatch here. Unlike a lot of Gibsons, that engine hatch lifts up nice and easy, does not appear to have any moisture intrusion that has worked its way into that hatch, at least not yet anyway. And of course, those gas shocks also kind of help do some lifting there as well. Now, so here's our engine room, and I'm going to hop on down in here. So again, this is going to be, now these are counter-rotating Crusader V8 engines. So this one's going to be rotating this direction. Over here on the starboard side, it's going to be rotating this direction. That gives you a whole lot of control, even maneuvering this around a marina harbor. You can do forward and reverse steers with these. You've got a lot of control with these counter-rotating engines. That's the V-drive transmissions that are just in front of each of these. You can see the U-joint coming out front of that of your crankcase there, that little velvet drive transmission. Then it's going into that V drive, and then from there it's going right through your little prop shaft, and you've got your prop shaft going out, and you've got probably a bronze propeller on the other end of it and a rudder. So again, these are the small block 305 Crusaders. It's a Ford small block V8 5.0 liter. And again, about 400, just over 450 engine hours on these. So we got an aluminum fuel tank on each side. So over there, port side, again, that's 80-gallon fuel tank right over there. And over here, starboard side, another 80-gallon aluminum fuel tank right over there. Automatic bilge pump right here in the middle. We've got some C-Star hydraulic assisted steering. And then where I'm standing used to be a generator, and that seacock right there was probably that generator intake that was coming through. Would have gone through a strainer and then to that generator, but that was replaced in 2019. Here's your battery bank right here, house battery in the middle. That house battery actually could use to be replaced. We were able to get the charge on that brought back up, and it is being charged right now by a newer NOCO 3-bank 10-amp onboard battery charger. But you can also see that far port and your starboard batteries are in the green, and that number 2 battery right there in the middle is still trying to get a charge right there. So it's due to be replaced. Other batteries do appear to be newer, and they're doing just fine, kind of maintaining their charge. All right, stepping on out of there, turn around. I'm gonna close this engine hatch right here. Those appear to just be some black little marks, probably from this deck furniture over here. But again, now the way this engine hatch is built on this Gibson is rainwater, if it gets in that engine channel, it is designed to come right out through these channels right here and drain out the back of the boat and not spill into that engine compartment. And of course, we've also got a small little integrated swim platform with a swim boarding ladder. I believe that's about a 4-step swim boarding ladder. And there's another look down our port side. I know that sun is really starting to shine in bright on us. We're going to go ahead and go up these couple steps here up to our rooftop. And here is our 2019 Onan. Again, this is a 5.5 kW air-cooled marine generator. Actually, it's probably a little bit more of an RV generator, but it will work. It will work for marine applications just fine. And actually, I think they did a nice job, plumbing that generator in. I don't mind it being upstairs here. They probably did that just to help with the noise, because it is air cooled. They're not really great to put down in those engine compartments because they're not going to get enough air circulation in order for them to stay cooled off. So up here above the deck. And additionally, I do need to point out a little bit more areas. This roof up here, we've got some cracks kind of coming down the center line here. This is typical. This is actually what you would consider to be a wear item. Okay, your decks and your roof are going to need to be recoated on occasion. Now, especially with the Gibsons, a lot of people forget about sealing your deck. They might remember to do the roofs. The decks are the exact same material. That is basically fiberglass that's been laid over marine grade plywood, and then they've got a like a gel coat surface. That gel coat will not last forever. It will eventually need to be redone. Now, today's world, gel coat is not quite the same product that it used to be. And so you're seeing a lot of people using alternatives to gel coat, but they're all going to do the same thing. They're going to be sealing out that moisture. Like a Pit-Thane Ultra is probably two good coats of a Pit-Thane Ultra is probably going to see about 10 years plus of service life out of it. So now if this is left like it is with no attention, you're probably going to start getting some leaks in here. So anytime you start seeing some cracking like that, and this is something a marine surveyor is going to check. So I'm kind of walking through there. I'm trying to put some weight on there, see if I notice any give, and I do not. It all appears to be nice and solid. It's probably just a superficial, some cracking on the exterior as well. And actually, it looks like somebody is even kind of taking the time to put a little bit of sealant on there with the, with the hopes of just sealing out some moisture on there. So those are all good things, but this roof does need to be recoated. Now, again, if you're going under a covered slip, again, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. But now we're seeing some signs of that coating starting to go. I would still recoat this roof and the decks. Now, if you're going under a covered slip, you'll probably never have to worry about it again. Okay, but if you're staying out in the exterior, you're going to need to continually keep an eye on that. So again, that's that dometic roof mount unit. That's newer. And here's our upper helm flybridge. Another VHF radio up here. You got your shift controllers, your throttle controllers, and then your speakers up here. Now these speakers, they weren't the greatest sound, but we were hearing sound out of 3 of these. I believe it was this one over here in this corner. That one appears to be busted up. Actually, I think we've even seen some wasps kind of go in and out of there. So that speaker right there is not functional. The other 3 up here are functional. Now, no, we did not function test that stereo remote, but that is a newer stereo remote that does match the stereo down below. You're going to have your remote spotlight control right here. And then you're going to have similar engine instrumentation up here. You're going to have your battery volts, engine temp, engine oil pressure, and tachometer for both your port and starboard gauges. Got a cup holder up here as well. And then they've tried to add a little monitor up here, and that monitor has seen better days. Dad, I don't know if you caught your eye earlier, just below that remote spotlight up there, there was a small little camera, like almost like a aftermarket backup camera. Probably worked great for some time. Now again, if that canvas stays over top of this bow area up here, it's going to kind of protect that camera a little bit and keep it shaded. So you might be all right once you put another monitor on there after you get that canvas reattached. Nice large flybridge up here. 6 or 5 cup holders built into this cover over top of that roof mount. Air conditioning unit. We got a pair of fender holders on the back of each corner of that flybridge up there. And your 6 cup holder is going to be right up here next to your helm station right here. Now, these seats actually appear to be in good shape. We've got storage underneath these flybridge seating. And these are actually covers. So this is what those cushions look like right here. And these are actually just covers over top of that vinyl. So these look like they're in great shape right here. I'm not going to lift all these up because I don't know if you've noticed. We do have some wasps that I think have made a nest underneath these seats up here. So we are kind of fighting those a little bit. We need to catch these in an evening and try to figure out where that nest is so we can get it. But yeah, they are kind of swarming around. You can see where we kind of try to pull that cover off over there. And yeah, they weren't happy about that. So that's about 8-foot Sunbrella canvas bimini top up here over top of that flybridge as well. I want to call your attention to that. And then we've got some canvas on our railing up here as well. So again, this slip is transferable. We are on Cherokee Lake. We are got a beautiful view up here. I don't know if you can see this over here. Let me get you a shot out looking this way. You got some mountain views over there. So very pretty area up here. We're not too far from Knoxville, Tennessee. And like I said, we are just east and a little bit north of Knoxville, Tennessee. So As usual, you're going to be able to find this one over at our website. Down in this video description, there will be a direct link to this listing. When you do make it over to our website, you're going to see a whole lot more information. You'll see the current asking price, the full spec sheet on this one. There'll be a link back to this video tube. So if you found the YouTube video first, our YouTube videos are just meant to supplement the website. If you've got any questions about this one, please do make sure you click over to our website. Again, for your convenience, down in that video description is going to be a direct link to the listing page for this one over our website. When you make it there, you're going to see our contact information. Be able to reach out to us by phone, by text, or by email. We do not monitor YouTube comment page, so if you do have any questions about this one, if you want to submit an offer, set up a time to come see it in person, you're going to need to do all of that by contacting us through the website. Again, all of our contact information is going to be readily available over there. You can reach out to us and contact us by whatever your preferred choice is. You know, like I said, again, email, phone, text. We do like to remind everybody, if you send us an email, you don't get an email reply within 1 business day, check your spam folder. We're generally, if it's a business day, we're very quick about getting replies out to everybody. Sometimes we're out in the docks this time of year and we're not coming off the water. And getting back in the cell phone range till later in the day. So, you know, sometimes those email replies might be going back to you about the middle of the night whenever we're able to, but they are going to be back to you within 1 business day. Again, check your spam folder if you had one that did not get responded to. And also, we like to remind you, if you call us on the phone, you get our voicemail. Keep in mind, we are frequently in areas without cell phone reception. So if you'll take the time, leave us a detailed message. Let us know which listing you're looking at, what questions you have. Whenever we either finish with the customer or return to sell area, we will gladly return that call and answer all those questions for you. So I did want to point out right there, just above that bottom paint line, back here in this corner, there's just a few little areas where that gel coat's kind of been scuffed off that hull side. And then as we go up this hull side, there's going to be a few little areas in this gel coat right here. Now that's mostly in the vinyl right there. As we continue to move up, and see a few areas. So here's one right there, just below that hull edge. That kind of looks like, from here, it looks like somebody's put some sealant on there, try to keep that gel coat damage from turning into something worse. Here's another little area in that vinyl graphic right there. And oh, I was just a little bit farther up. So again, a little bit of wear in that vinyl striping. Here's another little spot right there just below that hull edge. A little chip in the gel coat. Another one right here. Again, that's kind of been sealed up a little bit. And then a little bit more on the vertical side of that gel coat, kind of into that vinyl striping a little bit. And then there's another mark right down here on this whole side. Let me use some zoom right there. Where'd it go? I'm gonna pan back out here. We're getting some reflections off the water there. And if we can see it in here. The camera's having a hard time focusing because of the way that water is reflecting off of there. Oh, there it is. Okay. So there's that area right there. So again, that's kind of another little spot that's kind of gotten into that gel coat a little bit. Just up and to the left from there, there's another one right there. All right, so again, we try to show you all of our listings as accurately as possible. We want to respect your time, and especially if you're traveling a distance, or if you're not near the area but you're looking for something, we hope that some of the details in our video tours can at least help you narrow down options before you have to start getting in a car and driving out to seeing these in person. So again, there's no little kind of mark in that gel coat up here near this corner. This rub rail's seen a few rubs up here in this corner. Come on around, but they got a nice little plate on that windlass anchor there. It's kind of protecting that hull right up here on the front edge. And then as we come around over here to our starboard side, we got a little bit more of that wear kind of into that gel coat edge. This dock, actually, if you kind of look down the sides there, this is a little bit tough for this boat here. You definitely need some good fenders on here, because that dock edge is almost right at the lip of that hull edge right there. So that's probably what happened there. Actually, that's probably right about in line with one of these cleats here on this dock, assuming that happened here, or it could have happened in another marina. So again, some wear in the vinyl striping here on this side as we move on back. There's another good little rub in that vinyl striping right there, probably from a fender, a little bit like what this guy's doing right there. And here's some more. So again, so that's a little bit into the gel coat. Just it's gone more than just through the that vinyl striping there in that spot right there. And again, there's going to be some fender rubs in that vinyl striping back here in this corner. So that looks to be about it. Yeah. So that's going to start to wrap things up for this one. Again, this is the 1995 Gibson 37-foot Sport Series fiberglass hull houseboat for sale. Again, we are here on the freshwaters of Cherokee Lake in East Tennessee. Get a little bit of wear in the vinyl stripes, and maybe it was on that other side. Or no, here's a little bit right here, just above that door frame. You get a little bit there. There's that Sport Series graphic right there. They've named this one Summer Breeze. And let me move around to the other side. I know we kind of went down that side from the rub rail and below. Make sure we didn't miss anything up above the rub rail over here on this side. And so, yeah, so like I said, if you do make your way over to the website, you can find very detailed listing, all the particulars on this one, full list of all the equipment on board. There is a 10-gallon electric water heater. Again, there's a few more little kind of rubs in that vinyl stripes over here on this side. So glad we came back over here, and a little bit right there above that window here on this side, a little bit cracking back here in this corner. You can see this side really needs some wax on here. This side's getting that late afternoon sun. Now here's 3 little spots right here where there was probably a chip in this that outer layer of fiberglass, and they put some caulking in there to kind of seal it up. But just above that, yeah, we do have a little bit of kind of cracking in that teal stripe right there as well. But especially this side right here, you can see this late afternoon sun or evening sun is really kind of starting to catch up to this side. This needs some wax on the exterior. Like I said, if these any houseboat that is not under a covered slip, you need to be waxing it twice a year at a minimum. And this one, now this one has been waxed previously, and I think they've even kept up a fairly good maintenance on it as far as the exterior, as far as the bottom pane, and as far as the mechanicals all go too. This one appears to be in great or in good shape structurally. You would call it good bones. Obviously, you know, in that rear starboard side corner, we need to get some caulking on that exterior corner and on all those seams. You hold the deck joint around those windows, and typically, you know, if one window's kind of start some to lack some caulking, it's going to be time to check all of them. So these look mostly good, but again, I can even kind of see looking at this window, you got a little spot there on that bottom edge that where there's no caulking. That looks to be the same for this one. So you really got to stay on top of that on any houseboat, but especially with these Gibsons. So again, we're about ready to wrap up here. So I do want to point out 2 things to be coming up over top of your screen as we do start to sign off. One's going to be a shortcut to our current listings playlist, which is going to be there at YouTube. You can also get to there by going to youtube.com/yournewboat. And that's where all of the current listings that we have available, you're going to see a video tour for all of those there. Now, again, as I mentioned, this is a supplement to our website. Our website's going to have the full list of details, current asking price, again, all of our contact information. Typically, you won't hear us talk about asking price in any of our video tours because they will often change between when a listing is put up for sale and when it is sold. So do make it over to the website. And then the other thing in the top left-hand corner is going to be a shortcut to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, it's a great way to get notified anytime a new listing comes available because YouTube and Google is going to notify you when that video posts. So if you haven't already, appreciate all the subscribers. Again, any questions, do please make your way over to the website. Again, that direct link will be down in the video description for your convenience. And again, I thank you again for joining us on this one. Slip is transferable. Let's get you a look one more time over here. It's a great view out there. All right, thanks again for joining us.